Everyone thinks the secret to getting someone to open up is asking the right question. They're wrong. The truth doesn't come out because of curiosity, it comes out because of safety. And the ones who understand that don't ask questions, they make statements. They use words like keys, slipping past walls, unlocking emotions that even she didn't know she was ready to share. It's not force. It's not trickery. It's a quiet, darker kind of intelligence, a way of speaking that slides past a woman's defenses like a shadow in the night. And invites her truth to spill out, not because she's been manipulated, but because she wants to. Every man can ask questions. Few know how to speak in a way that makes a woman reveal herself. Today, I'll show you how to do it, ethically, powerfully, with real examples you can use the next time you're face to face with her. So sit back, listen closely, because once you understand this, you'll never talk to a woman the same way again. This isn't manipulation. This is understanding human wiring. Every human being has defense systems, invisible ones, built from fear, rejection, and memories of people who didn't listen. You've seen it. You ask a woman a question, and her eyes shift for half a second before she answers. That half second is the filter. It's her subconscious scanning for danger, wondering if what she says might be used against her. But when you learn to communicate the right way, that filter drops. It's not because you outsmarted her, it's because you made her feel safe. Safety makes truth spill out. So what I'm about to teach you isn't a trick, it's a framework built on psychology. The power of statements instead of questions. The use of tone instead of pressure. The timing that makes her want to fill the silence. These aren't pickup lines, they're psychological levers used with respect. When you master them, you don't chase information, it flows to you. If you use what follows responsibly, it'll change the way you connect with women, friends, and honestly, everyone you meet. If you're serious about becoming the kind of man women open up to, not because you force it, but because they feel it, hit that like button, subscribe, and comment the word truth below. I read every one. Let's see how many of you are ready to learn what most men never will. Imagine this scene with me, you're across from her. The light is small, it hits the ridges of her face and the room feels like it's holding its breath. Conversation stutters, like radio with bad reception. You can feel the space between your words getting heavier. Most men panic there. They try to fill it with questions. How was your day? Are you okay? And every question puts a tiny fence around her mouth. She answers, but it's cautious, guarded, the truth is wrapped in layers of I'm fine. Or you do something quieter, more dangerous in the best way, you plant a statement. You don't ask for permission. You make an observation that's believable, slightly personal, and just a touch off enough to invite correction. It's a small, conversational dare. It says, I see you, but tell me who you really are. Example, you lean in, lower your voice, and say, you carry yourself like someone who's been protecting a secret for a long time. Watch the micro shifts, a blink, a softened jaw, the way her shoulders drop a fraction. That tiny correction, it's not a secret, just, is the moment she starts to take the guard down. She's not answering a question, she's setting the record straight. And while she corrects you, she reveals something true. That spark, the invite to correct, is the subtle ignition we'll use again and again. Let me tell you something most people never realize, every human being walks around with a silent guard in their mind. I call it the mental doorman. The doorman's job is simple, protect what's inside. Every time someone throws a question your way, what do? Who were you with? Why didn't you answer? That doorman steps forward. He squints, analyzes, and asks, is it safe to tell the truth? You do this too. We all do. It's why conversations often sound polite but feel shallow. Questions make people feel inspected, evaluated. Even if you mean no harm, the question still carries a trace of interrogation. That's why she gives short, polished answers. Oh, just work stuff. Yeah, I'm fine. It's nothing, really. That's the doorman talking. He's closing the gate, politely. But here's where it gets fascinating. Statements, confident, grounded, slightly off-center statements, don't trigger that same defense. They bypass the doorman completely. Because the brain doesn't hear a request for information. It hears an observation. And the natural human instinct is to correct, clarify, or elaborate. That's how you quietly walk past the gate. For example, if you ask, "Are you close with your family?" she might pause, filter, and offer, "Yeah, we're fine." But if you say, "You seem like someone who's had to be strong for your family," she'll often respond, "Well, yeah, actually, I kind of had to be." And there it is, she just revealed an emotional truth you never directly asked for. That's not trickery. That's human psychology. People hate being misunderstood more than they fear being exposed. And when your statement gently misses the mark, just slightly, she wants to set the record straight. And in doing so, she hands you the truth, willingly, unconsciously, almost gratefully. When you learn to communicate that way, you stop sounding like a man trying to get answers. And start sounding like someone who already understands. Someone safe, intuitive, and quietly confident. That's when the conversation changes. That's when the truth starts to flow. You lean back, just slightly. The room is dim. Not enough to hide behind, but enough to make words heavier than they should be. You ask her, "You always look like you've got a million thoughts running." Say it slowly, like you are tracing a secret you are not supposed to know. Here is her reply, smiles faintly, but her eyes flicker, she's deciding how much to give away. "I do. I've got this project that's been keeping me up lately." There it is, the door creaks open. She didn't even realize she unlocked it. You ask again, "What kind of project?" Your tone doesn't chase. It invites. Like a quiet room waiting for a confession. She reply, "It's complicated. Work, mostly. Deadlines. But it's more than that, I'm trying to prove something." Now she's talking to herself more than to me. That's when you know it's working. You see, she didn't answer a question, she corrected an assumption. You didn't demand an answer, you gave her a mirror. That's the art, you let her step into silence and fill it with what matters to her. There's an art to the statement. It must sound believable, slightly personal, and just a touch mysterious. Too blunt and she'll shut down. Too vague and she won't care. Point 1, the tone, not just the words. You can have the right words, and still lose everything in the delivery. Tone is where truth either hides, or comes alive. See, a statement isn't just about what you say. It's how you say it. The same line, said too sharp, becomes interrogation. Said too soft, it fades into the noise. But when your voice drops low, your cadence slows, and you let silence do half the talking, something shifts. It stops feeling like pressure. It starts feeling like presence. That tone says, "I'm not trying to pull something out of you. I'm simply noticing what's already there." And that disarms her. Because women respond less to words, and more to emotional safety. When your tone carries that calm, grounded certainty, she doesn't feel studied. She feels seen. It's the invisible signal that says, "You can exhale here." Let's take another example. You, soft, measured, you seem tired in a familiar way. Her, relief in her voice, "Yeah, it's my mom, she's been ill." You, gentle, almost whispering, "I'm sorry." That's a lot to carry. And there it is. No question. No chase. Just space. What happened there wasn't small talk, it was permission. She didn't reveal because you demanded to know. She revealed because, for a moment, she didn't have to defend herself. That's the difference between conversation and connection. Point 2, the power of small, true assumptions. Now, this next part is where it starts to feel almost supernatural. Because when you learn how to make the right kind of assumption, it's like turning a key in someone's subconscious. The trick isn't to act like you know her. That would trigger resistance. The trick is to act like you sense her. Small, believable assumptions, not wild guesses, are your way in. You're not predicting her secrets. You're reading her atmosphere. Her tone. Her rhythm. Her hesitation. These are the invisible threads that give away emotional truth. And when you voice an assumption that lands close to home, something powerful happens. She feels understood without having to explain herself. And people crave that more than anything. 2 rules. 1. Keep your assumptions believable. Never jump to something you couldn't possibly know. 2. Make them about emotion or context, not private facts. When you do that, she won't see you as invasive. She'll see you as perceptive. Example 3: elicitation through assumption. You, steady, curious tone. You strike me as someone who doesn't talk about themselves easily. Her, half laugh, softening. No, I don't. You, quiet smile. Why's that? That's it. One simple statement, and she's now walking through the door you opened. She's not defending. She's reflecting. Because deep down, she doesn't feel interrogated, she feels seen. And that difference between pressure and perception is what makes her reveal what she never tells anyone else. Research anchor. Psychologists call this indirect elicitation. People correct social misreads more readily than they answer direct probes. It's not trickery, it's social instinct. Use it to build trust, not to dismantle it. Point 3: vulnerability by mirroring. Here's where most men underestimate the game. You can read her perfectly, sense her moods, say all the right words, but until you show her that you have depth too, she won't fully open. See, people mirror vulnerability. It's a law written into human nature, the law of emotional reciprocity. If I tell you something that sounds real, not rehearsed, not performed, your subconscious feels compelled to meet me halfway. And that's where connection stops being technique and starts being chemistry. But here's the key: it has to be brief. Subtle. A small crack in your armor, not a flood. Too much, and it looks like emotional dumping. Too little, and she doesn't feel your sincerity. It's that one honest line that lingers, the kind that sounds like a secret, not a speech. Example 4: vulnerability mirror. You say this, quietly, almost offhand: I have this bad habit of overthinking at night, makes me stare at the ceiling. Her, soft laugh, a spark of recognition: I do that too. It's the worst. You, leaning in slightly: what keeps you up? And just like that, she steps closer, not because you pulled her, but because you invited her. You offered a door, she chose to walk through it. That's not manipulation. That's resonance. Ethics reminder. Now listen carefully, because this is where most guys destroy everything they've built. They learn this, and think it's a code for control. They start using it to pry, to extract gossip, secrets, passwords, or worse, to fake empathy. That's not intelligence. That's corrosion. If you're here to connect, to understand and be understood, then you're in the right place. But if you're here for anything else, stop watching now. Because what I'm teaching only works when it's rooted in respect and consent. Always. If that makes sense, drop a locked in the comments and write, I respect the line. And tell me, when was the last time someone made you feel safely heard? Point 4: timing, patience, and the slow reveal. Truth doesn't arrive in a flood. It arrives in drops. A sentence here. A glance there. And if you're patient enough, those drops become a river. See, real secrets, the kind that shape who a woman is, don't fall out in one night. They unfold like a story she's still deciding if she can trust you with. Your role isn't to dig. It's to build the space where her truth can land softly. That means playing the long game, one built on microtrust. Each conversation becomes a thread. Each moment of safety, a knot that holds it together. You don't rush it. You don't force it. You create a sequence, a rhythm, of statements, small reflections, and moments of vulnerability that slowly expand the container between you. That's when the big truths appear, not because you asked for them, but because she needed somewhere to put them. Example: 5 slow reveal over time. Encounter 1. You, half smile, quiet tone. You have a laugh like someone who's been through too much, and still likes to live. She smiles. Maybe she doesn't say much, but the seed is planted. Encounter 2. You, remember that laugh, where did you learn to keep it? Her, soft, distant look. My sister taught me. We had to find light because things at home were dark. And there it is, truth, unfolding on its own time. No interrogation. No pressure. Just presence. You gave her a safe place to bring her story. And in doing so, you became part of it. Clinical check: what to avoid. Let me put the brakes on for a moment, because this part decides who you really are beneath the surface. Never press. If she tightens, back off. That silence isn't rejection. It's a boundary, and boundaries are sacred. Never fake emotion. Women feel when something's performed. They don't need an actor, they need authenticity. Never share her stories, not with friends, not even as anecdotes. What's told to you in confidence becomes yours to protect. This isn't extraction. You're not pulling treasure from a vault. You're co-creating safety, one honest breath at a time. And if that safety breaks, the whole structure collapses. So move with care. Speak with intent. And always, always, protect the space she opens in front of you. If you want more real examples like these, full dialogue templates and breakdowns for different stages of connection, comment deeper below, and I'll create a full follow-up. And if you don't want to miss that, hit subscribe right now, because what's coming next goes beyond words. Let's lock this down, because what you've learned today isn't theory. It's a sequence. A psychological rhythm you can use the next time you sit across from a woman you truly want to understand. 3 steps, simple, but not shallow. Step 1, the observation statement. Say something small. Something true. Something anyone paying attention could notice. You're not probing, you're acknowledging. Example: you carry yourself like someone who's lived a few hard seasons. That line alone tells her you see her, not just her surface. It's not invasive, it's intimate through awareness. Step 2, gentle vulnerability. Offer one honest line about yourself, not to steal attention, but to build balance. When you show a small crack, she knows it's safe to show hers. Example: I get quiet when I'm worried about people I care for. It's a soft mirror, and people reflect what they receive. Step 3, patient follow-up. The final piece, time. You weave small callbacks, careful reflections, gentle check-ins across conversations. Each one builds credibility. Example: you mentioned your sister last time, how's she doing? Now it's not just a conversation, it's a continuation. That's how trust grows, not in a single spark, but in a slow, steady flame that never feels forced. You don't chase truth. You build a place where truth wants to live. If you practice this, something unexpected will happen. You won't make her reveal everything to you. You'll become the kind of man she chooses to tell everything to. Not because of charm. Not because of pressure. But because, in a world that constantly demands her to perform, you gave her the one thing she never gets, quiet safety. And that, more than any psychological trick or conversational tactic, is where the real power lies. It's not about control. It's about presence. Now I'll leave you with a question, and I want you to sit with it before you type anything. What's the one truth you wish someone had created a safe enough space for you to reveal? Drop it in the comments. Not for sympathy, but for understanding. Because someone else might need to read it tonight. If you found value in this, hit like, subscribe, and share this video with one man who needs to learn how to listen. I'll see you in the next one, where we go deeper into the psychology they don't teach in school. Until then, stay aware.